Hey girl, welcome back to another episode of Rock That Fitness with Anna Rockstar. Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I can't thank you enough for your dedication, your loyal listening. You are definitely a rock star for that. Thank you so much. So today, in today's episode, what I'm going to do is I feel like it's time for an update. There's been a lot going on, and I just kind of want to share what's been going on in my own personal life, hopefully to encourage you and inspire you in your own life based on some of the things that I've been going through. And also, I am going to be bringing you the highlights of our most recent masterclass, Fat Loss for Women Over 40, 3 Secrets to Sustainable Success. We had one of our amazing rock star listeners, followers, friends, whatever. She's also now, she joined us for this current Kickstart challenge. And I'm going to just do a shout out to Angela. She said, hey, why don't you put that stuff on the podcast? It would be really great. So I was like, wow, that's a great idea. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's get into it. Believe it or not, girl, I'm still doing my best to get used to this recording on video as well as audio. I don't know what's taking me so long, but it's taking a minute, right? I'm not really sure why, but it is what it is, and I'm always going to be keeping it real. So I got my notes up here on my computer. I got a million and two maybe things on my mind that I want to share. So anyway, if I'm looking at myself, if you're watching me on YouTube, by the way, that's why I record this like this, because it's going on YouTube. And yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on. If you're watching it on YouTube, and if you don't know this by now, then go check out YouTube. Go follow me on YouTube. And as this catches on, hopefully y'all will help me let this catch on. I may be doing more stuff on YouTube. I don't know. I'm only going to be doing like one little bitty thing at a time. I get a lot of I don't know. I get suggestions, recommendations for doing things. And in my mind, I'm like, look, that sounds fantastic. And I would love to do all the things. But my approach to doing all the things, right? Because we can do everything. We just can't do everything all the time. And for me, it's like, if it's not something that I'm going to be able to do consistently and keep showing up with that one thing, then I'm not ready to start it yet, because I want to show up for you in a consistent way. And that's how I've done everything that I've done. Like whatever it is, it's like, I'm going to show up. Like same thing with this podcast. I don't know why I'm getting into that, but that's why. So this is why I finally, after it took me 2 years, I wanted to put it on video on YouTube. But I was like, I'm not ready. I know I'm not ready to be consistent on video, but now here we are. We've been doing this for weeks now. So here I am, YouTube, let's go. So if you know what, first, let me just tell you a funny story, because this morning, oh my God, this is a crazy. Okay. If you know me and you follow me and all that, or if you're a Rockstar client or whatever, girl, I'm pretty tough. Like I'm brave. I'm strong. Like I'm physically strong. I'm mentally, emotionally strong. I believe I am. Well, there's this one thing. There's one. I don't know if there's anything else I'm that's afraid of. I am a little, yes, afraid of some heights, depending. Like I can climb a ladder, no big deal. I can, do some rock climbing and, rappelling, because there's some safety features there, right? Same thing with zip lining. I can do the zip line. I want to skydive someday. I don't know. I think if I'm up in the moment about to do it, I'm probably going to get a little scared, but I'm probably going to do it. But this is a crazy thing. I'm afraid of these ridiculous things called palmetto bugs. And they're like this big. If you see me on video, I'm like really exaggerating, but they're huge. They can be like 2 inches, 3 inches. I don't know. They're huge bugs. They're these, what I call them is giant cockroaches. They're la cucaracha. I do not like la cucaracha. And anyway, so this morning in the kitchen, I was in there by myself, nobody was home. And there was one on the floor upside down on its back, and it was crippled. Like I could tell it had a missing leg or something. And I was looking at it going, what the heck happened to this thing? Did I step on it and not even know? And so I'm like, no big deal, right? Like these things I won't even kill because they're that disgusting. I won't get near them. I won't touch them. I will not mash them. No, thank you. But it was laying on its back, and I thought, no big deal. I'm just going to go get my broom and my dustpan, and I'm going to sweep that little puppy in there, and I'm going to throw it in la basura, the trash. Well, I go and do that, and lo and behold, I helped it turn over onto its legs, and it started running around and freaking me out. It crawled underneath like the cabinet area, and then it was disappearing for a moment, and I was like, oh no. And y'all, I know. I was screaming, like screaming at the top of my lungs. I don't know who I turn into with these cucarachas. I just don't know. I'm a different person, somebody you have never seen in your life, ever. It's crazy. You know, it's long story short, it came back out of the cabinet area underneath when I was talk to texting to my pest control. I'm like, hey, Siri, pest control, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden that thing came running out again, and I smashed it with a broom, and I finally got it, took it outside to the trash can outside. I don't know. It's really funny to me after the fact, but in the middle of the moment, I'm telling you, I lose my mind, like literally lose my mind. It reminds me of another time, Country Boy and I, we went out on I don't know, it was a networking event. I was all dressed up in a dress, we're networking. Well, we leave that evening and we get in the car. Yeah, it's my SUV, and we get in there, and he starts to pull out, and there was a cucaracha, a huge palmetto bug on the hood of that car. And do you know, was that going to be like not a big deal to me? Because girl, it's on the outside of the car. I can see it through the windshield. It ain't coming into the car, but oh no, girl. That thing started crawling on the windshield as we're driving out of the driveway, out of the parking lot, and I am screaming at the top. Country Boy thought I was kidding, and I wasn't. Like, I was screaming, I was squirming. I got out of my seatbelt. I jumped up on top of the seat, and he's driving off, and this thing is hanging on for dear life on the windshield, and I am screaming, and it finally flies off, and I am like a sigh of relief. And I don't know what to tell you. I just turned into a crazy woman. I really do. And he thought I was kidding, but he knows now that it's not a joke. Okay. Enough of the cucaracha jokes. I mean, it's not really a joke, but my story. Okay. Well, let me tell you. So let's get into what's been going on the last few weeks. I'll update you on some stuff. I'm going to update you on what we did. We went on a trip. We went out to West Virginia to see Grandma Blizzard. Grandma Blizzard is 103 years old, and she is going to be 104 in December. Believe it or not, her birthday's coming up in December. And there was something else that would happen during that time. I'll tell you about that too. But before I get into that, I don't know why I got my stories all out of order, but I'm gonna get around to the thing. For those of you asking me about my wonky left knee, I've got a little update for you. My update is this. If I didn't tell you in previous episodes, or you're new, let me just say, I had an MRI done, and so it did show that I have a small horizontal tear in my left lateral meniscus. Now, they're telling me that the horizontal tear is not something that can be repaired, nor can it heal itself. And it's a small one, but it's definitely impacting me. And we cannot stop the aging process. There's obviously some aging happening, and I got the very beginning stages of osteoporosis. Money. Okay. We're dealing with it. Girl, I've cried a river of tears. I've been going through the grief. I think I've overcome it. I do. I feel like I'm good. I did get my full follow-up. I asked a million questions to my orthopedic doctor. He's a sports orthopedic doctor. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but basically, I could do this, I could do that. I know I've heard stem cell injections. I've heard, plasma injections, all these kind of things. And this other thing is it's a gel injection. So, I can do nothing about it, but it is causing me pain, and it's causing me pain constantly. But not it's causing me worse pain, like, after I do some high impact stuff, like running, which he told me I'm still allowed to do it, just not as frequently, not as much, you know? So, anyway, my plan is to go ahead and get these injections. So, it's hyaluronic acid injection. Our bodies make this naturally, so it's a natural medication we're gonna put inside of my knee, and they're sending 3 3 syringes of this gel, and I'm going to be getting an injection once a week for 3 weeks, and it could last up to a year. They say it's supposed to last anywhere from 6 months to a year. Everybody's different depending on how much you, I guess, use your knee. So mine might only last 3 months. I don't know, but it's worth a try, and that's my plan. That's my plan. I'm sticking to it. I'm looking forward to it, and I will give you an update on that because I did go for a run the other day. It was a short run. I did a run walk, and I ran about 20 minutes on my way back home. And I'll tell you, the next day, my knee was not happy. I did some icing on it. It's just, yeah. I mean, I can walk on it, but boy, it's a pain. It's hurting me. So your girl's in some pain, dealing with it. And hey, I'm happy. Like, I'm just sad that my knee is expiring so early. I'm 53. I guess for all of the wear and tear on it, I should be happy because I've gotten a lot of running in, a lot. And I love running. And it's just because I just enjoy it. I've done a couple of marathons, I've done a few half marathons, I've done a heck of a lot of different 10Ks, 5Ks, and just running and running. So, what can I say? I just need to be thankful that I've been able to run so many miles in my lifetime. And I hopefully can run some more when I get this gel injection. But I'm still going to back off in terms of volume of running. Okay, that's my knee update. Now, I want to talk about this trip that I went on with the country boy, because we typically take a trip to go see all the country folks in West Virginia, his family. We will usually do that during the late fall time, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas time. And we were talking in the middle of the summer, we're like, why don't we go before then? Because I want to have Thanksgiving at my house this year. And so that means we won't get to go to West Virginia for Thanksgiving. And so, so we planned this. So we went to West Virginia. And here's the thing. Another story that was happening in the background was that my father passed away basically the day before we had already scheduled this trip to go to West Virginia. And the thing is, last year, Brookie and I went on a long trip. Was it last year? It was about a year and a half ago. I don't know. I just knew that, my Brookie and I, we drove all the way up to Oklahoma to go see him and his wife, fully knowing that it very well would be the last time that I would see him in person because he was declining and we didn't know which one of them was going to go. They both were. So I'm very thankful that Brooke and I did that. But anyway, that was the last time we saw him. So to me, and we kind of had our goodbyes at that time. Like when I was there visiting them, there were things he was saying and conversations, and then even a very face-to-face, I love you. And I don't even remember the words he said, but I know that he told me in his own personal way that he was sorry, that he apologized in his own way. Like I just knew. And of course I'm not like, I already had forgiven this man. It wasn't about waiting for that apology. Anyway, long story there. The thing is, that's what happened there. So yeah, I knew. And whenever I got the news that he was, and by the way, my stepmom had passed away in I don't know, a few months ago. I don't know, it was earlier in the year. Earlier in the year, she passed away. So we knew he was not far behind her. And without all the details, he had called me in the last couple of weeks before he died. He called me a couple of different times, which he didn't do that frequently, but he was just talking on and on. And in this past few months, it's been harder to have conversations with him because he wouldn't wear his hearing aids and it was hard to understand him and he couldn't hear me. So typically the phone call would go something like, hey, Annabelle, and And I would talk. He couldn't hear me, so he would just tell me he loved me and he was doing well, and he would tell me everything going on with him, and then it would be like bye, and he didn't hear a word I said. And that's how those last conversations were. But it was like that these last two times he had called, and I just kind of knew. So when I got the news the day before we left on our trip, I wasn't really planning on going, but I can tell you inside of my heart, I was torn. I'm like, we've already got this trip planned to go to West Virginia. So what was I going to do? I was like, well, I already said my goodbyes, and I knew, and I felt like I was going to be at peace if I didn't go see him, go to his funeral. So it was still kind of stirring up in my heart. All right, so went on this trip, and so we went on this trip, and I talked to my half brother, and he said he was going to go, which I'm closer to my father than he was. And he said he was going to go. And then that kind of started changing my mind. And we talked a lot. And I was like, you know what? I need to go. So there you have it. At the end of the West Virginia trip was right when his funeral was scheduled, and it just all played out that way. And so it was just meant to be. And I got to be at his funeral. I'm really happy that I got to be at his funeral. I really, really am. I don't think that I would have regrets for not going, because I had already planned not to go. But now maybe I would. I don't know. But I'm glad I went. And I have this ring to remember him by. I remember him, if you're watching on video on YouTube, he used to wear this ring on his pinky all the time, which I thought I liked that ring, and I was able to get this ring. Anyway, I've been wearing it a lot, and interestingly, I never knew. I never touched this. I mean, touched this. I never saw this ring in like this, or looked at it, or inspected it. But when I got it at the funeral, I was looking at it on the inside. His name is engraved on there. It's his engraved. His name is engraved on the inside of the ring, and it says Tom King. So I've been wearing it right there on my index finger. I like it. All right, so I went, and I'm glad I did. And I know there's a lot of other details. Maybe you have questions about it. I'm nothing to hide. I'm full open book here, girl. I'm always open to share all of the things. So if you're interested, send me a message, and I'll be glad to share with you anything you want to know, because I'm not here to try to make a mystery of anything, but I wanted you to know what was going on. So that's that. So now I can get into my trip to West Virginia. Our whole visit there was, it was fun. It was great as usual. But I'm going to bring this conversation in, and that's going to be the conversation of gaining weight when you're on a getaway, a vacation, or a family trip, or a holiday, whatever it is. I'm going to talk about this because this time around, I think I did things slightly differently than I had in the past when it came to like my nutrition and my fitness, but it also had some things to do with the schedule while we were there. Very different compared to how it was before. I don't know how to explain it, except it was just different. So what I've done in the past is I haven't been like restrictive when it comes to my eating while I was on that trip, while I was visiting. But I also was a little more intentional with not being as much in a calorie deficit, I mean, calorie surplus. So let's just be upfront and honest about the whole thing. For myself, I know for a fact, and even in all the times that I've gone, I've been in a calorie surplus. Why? Well, because even though I made an effort to eat my healthy foods, my nutritious foods while I was there, like, eating salads and vegetables and getting plenty of protein, these kind of things. Um, I'm still eating quite a bit of foods that are low volume, which means like the low volume, high calorie, like gravy and sausage pancakes, which I never had them until I met Country Boy, until I met his mother, and she makes that for us when we go. Uh, grave, Country gravy sausage pancakes. I had, what else did I eat? Oh, we ate ice cream every single day we were there. We had ice cream. We had ice cream 2 times from a really cool ice cream shop down the road. And then we had ice cream 2 different days homemade peach ice cream for 2 different days. Now tell me that's not high calorie. Now, y'all know how I feel about food. First of all, I enjoy it. I love all kinds of food, all kinds, and I eat all the foods. I do. And I don't believe any one food is bad or good. I just believe that we need to pay attention to portions, have portion control, frequency and dosage is what it comes down to. And also being very mindful of our nutritious, the foods that we're eating. So anyway, long story short, I did all these things, but I will say that in the past, I would only have that pancake breakfast maybe once while I was there. And the other times I would eat, oatmeal or whatever. But you know what? This time around, I decided that I wanted to enjoy that breakfast pretty much every day while I was there. Every day. I had pancakes with the sausage gravy. One day I made the pancake with some oatmeals, because I wanted to add some fiber to it and some whole grain. Um, but yeah, so I went ahead and, I just enjoyed everything. And it was like, and also I would eat my mother-in-law likes to keep these snacks around when I'm there because she knows I like them and I enjoy them while I'm there. And there's like this trail mix that has like all of the nuts, some kind of little cracker in there. And I'll have like one or two of those little cupfuls a day. So it's easy to overconsume calories. Like what I mean by that is eating more calories than your body requires or needs just to maintain your current weight. But I wasn't worried like I would be in the past. Like in the past, when I struggled with my fat loss, when I struggled with weight loss, before I had ever had my full transformation, before I was, my pre-transformation maintenance phase, back then, if I did things like this, it would stick with me. I couldn't get it off. I mean, I would be stressed out the whole time in my mind about weight gain. But would I do anything about it? No. Anyway, it's just a different mindset now for me. And I know like I can enjoy these things mindfully. I'm not overindulging. I may be over consuming calories, but I wasn't stuffing myself. I wasn't overeating, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if that makes full sense, but if your diet is like mine is comprised of mostly whole foods, mostly all natural foods, vegetables and fruits and lean protein and these kind of things most of the time, those are high volume foods, which means there's more of it with fewer calories. And that's how I eat most of the time. But it wasn't like that while I was there for those 4 days. I think it was 4 days, 5 days. It seemed like a week. I think it was almost a week. Yeah, we were there a long time. And not to mention the traveling days, I didn't eat like I normally do. There was emotional stress involved, all of the things. I know I'm talking to my rock star sisters here, and everybody gets it. But like I say, this time around, the way that I think about things is it's not stressful, because I like to call it, I have an evidence bank that I know that all I have to do is get back onto my normal routine, my rock star routine when this is over. The problem happens when we don't get back to our normal, healthy rock star routine and we just continue and continue, right? What's going to happen? Well, it's going to continue to go. We're going to continue to gain fat. It goes beyond gaining weight. And the way that we can think about this scientifically is that it takes, for 1 pound of fat. This is why when we say, you know what, there's natural fluctuations every single day on the scale. So you cannot gain a pound of fat in one day. Okay. It's impossible. But you can gain weight on the scale because you could eat extra salt in your food, extra carbs, sugars, and that stuff causes your body to retain water, which easily will cause a spike on the scale. Same way the other way, right? You're not getting enough water in your diet, you're dehydrated, you could be down on the scale the next day. So up or down doesn't matter. But 3,500 calories is what 1 pound of fat is made of, right? 1 pound of fat is equal to 3,500 calories. There is no way you're going to eat that many above and beyond. I mean, maybe you could, but you're not going to gain a pound of fat in a day. So just like when I was on my fat loss journey, or if you're on your fat loss journey, it takes time. It takes a slow amount of time to actually lose the fat and change your body composition. Okay, you can lose weight quickly, right? Just don't drink water for a day. How about fasting for a couple of days? You're going to lose weight quickly because your digestive system will be empty and you will be dehydrated. But just like it takes real time and slow and steady, you lose fat over time. Same thing for gaining it. So I consumed, I'm certain, enough calories within that week to have gained 4 or 5, I want to say probably anywhere between 3 and 5 pounds of fat, believe it or not. And I took a picture of this side by side. It's on my profile. It's inside of my Instagram. I was trying to show you guys that that my weight was up 5 pounds, but look how I look. Not very different at all. I had a picture of myself 4 weeks ago, and then I had a picture of myself currently, and you compare them side by side, and there's like really hardly any difference. And this is why it's so important to understand that the scale weight, if you focus only on the scale weight, you are going to miss what really matters, and that's your body composition. That's what we work on. So anyway, that's kind of what happened. And then, of course, at the end of that trip, I went on to go to the funeral, continued with my, out of my routine, not eating and exercising. What I did do my best to get steps in every single day. I mean, for me, I'm thinking like that's the bare minimum. I can at least do that. I'm not going to lose my muscle mass in a week. You don't. Okay, you don't start losing muscle strength and mass until after 2 weeks. That's what studies show. And even then, you're not really losing muscle fibers that you've built. You're just losing like glucose and water from the muscles, and that's why they atrophy, they shrink. All right, so there you go, a little piece of science for you. Well, so yeah, I got back and I didn't get right back to, I didn't go into a calorie deficit when I got back. That's one of the things that I knew I wasn't going to do because I had a lot happening. We were in the middle of a launch, rounding up some new ladies for the next Kickstart Challenge. Welcome, ladies. So excited for this next 6 weeks. Those of you that jumped in and took the challenge, we're excited for you. So we were doing all that, and it wasn't a time for me to focus on a calorie deficit. For me, I was just maintaining. I went back to my normal routine, back to my normal, my fitness routine, back to the gym, back to my normal everyday Anna Rockstar eating. And I don't even know right now, am I going to do a calorie deficit? I don't know, because if I just stick with my routine, eventually I'm going to lose the fat and I'm going to get back to where I was because it was such a significant amount of a calorie surplus. And, over time, getting back on my routine and hitting the gym and all the things that I do. Yes, I'm not running like I was, but I am still trying to maintain an activity level for my body. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. And I'm always here for you if you have any questions. It sounds maybe to some people overwhelming and complicated, and to a lot of people it is. To most people it is. But I'm a coach. My co-coach, she is our one-on-one, oversees one-on-one coaching for all of our members that she has in one-on-one. And I say that because nobody expects you to know and understand nutrition and how your body loses fat or gains muscle or builds muscle. Nobody expects you, the normal everyday person. You got enough to think about, and that's a lot. It's kind of like, who's expecting you to know how to fix your car? You know how to drive the car, you know how to get around, you know how to wash it, you know how to put some gas in it, do some minor things. But if somebody says, you know what, you need a tune-up or you need an overhaul or we got to do these kind of things, you're not going to go trying to figure all that out. You will be frustrated and you're not going to make progress because you're not a mechanic. It's the same thing when it comes to personal training and having a coach. There's value to that. And I always tell our members that choose to go to one-on-one coaching, like that's an upgrade to have that one-on-one coach that's there side by with you every single day, holding you accountable every day, giving you a customized plan, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and the same thing inside of RTF membership. We have a structured strength training program. We have guidance when it comes to your nutrition, giving you exactly what you need to know so that you can dial in your nutrition for fat loss. and then we're all there. We have community in RTF that's like beyond any other community that I know of. We're better than Disney, I like to say. Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, that leads me to, again, just want to congratulate all of the ladies that joined us in this next Kickstart challenge. And if you have not, if you've been wanting to join us for the Kickstart challenge, but for whatever reason you haven't, and you feel like, yeah, I really want to do this, because this is the gateway. Coach Abby and I, we decided we want to do things a little bit more different. It's the same but different in terms of how things are going to go, in terms of small group coaching. But Kickstart Challenge, now we're inviting our Kickstart challengers into RTF membership community so that they don't have their own small group in a Facebook group, but they get to experience the full community. But we still have a small group inside of the RTF app for them. So there's still that. And we're still meeting weekly in small groups with just these ladies inside of this challenge. So we're super excited about that. So that brings me to just wanting to let you know, as a listener, you may not know this, but we do everything virtually, everything. And our members are having like phenomenal results understanding what they need to do so they don't ever have to use a diet program again. And so there's only 3 ways to work with us. I'm just going to throw this out there, and that is, you can either do one-on-one coaching with Coach Abby. You can do that. You don't have to be a member in RTF to put in an application and see if it's a good fit. First of all, put in your application for Coach Abby to take a look at that and see if it's one-on-one coaching is for you. And you may say, I just want to join membership. Well, I want you to also join membership, but membership is not open all the time. But the way to get into membership is to join one of our Kickstart challenges, because that is the gateway into membership. And in there, we're doing all the things that we would do inside of membership, and you are part of membership in the Facebook group community, and you get the RTF app, and you get specialized coaching with myself, Coach Abby, and you even get both of us inside of the RTF app to voice message, text message, send us a video, these kind of things back and forth. We're going to be working really closely with our challengers, which I'm real excited about. So that's how you work with us. Yes, there's an application on our membership page, rockthatfitness.com. You go to membership page. There's an application. You can apply for membership, but it's an application, and not everybody is a good fit to just go into membership. I am so I care so much about our ladies that I want them to have a strong foundation of what we're doing. And that's why we have this Kickstart challenge that helps you step by step for 6 weeks to really give you a great foundation of your nutrition, and dialing in your nutrition for fat loss, or dialing in your nutrition for maintenance, but building muscle and strength, and then also establishing your strength training, structured strength training program. So all of that leads me to what I'm going to talk about in terms of our today. I'm going to do this highlight that I said I was going to do, thanks to one of our awesome rock star ladies, Angela. Shout out to you again for suggesting this, because she was like, that was such great information. I think you should put that on a podcast. So I'm not putting all of it on here, but I am going to highlight some important things about it. We had a great turnout for this fat loss masterclass, what I was calling Fat Loss for Women Over 40, 3 Secrets to Sustainable Success. And thank you to all of you wonderful ladies that joined us on that call. That was really so fun to see all of your faces, so many familiar faces from Instagram and Facebook. And so just want to thank you for coming to the masterclass. It was really fun. And I started out basically, telling everybody, if you were in the right place, if here are some things that I mentioned, because if you're following me and you're thinking, I think I want to do something with you, I think I want to have some coaching from you, and Coach Abby and RTF coaching. There's a list of things that I told these ladies on the call. I said, you're in the right place if you feel frustrated or discouraged from trying multiple diets or fitness plans without sustainable results. You're also in the right place if you feel insecure about your body, like we all do. You feel insecure about your body changes because we're aging. Oh, you're struggling to accept the natural changes in your body due to aging, and you're feeling less confident in your appearance because of the excess fat and lack of muscle. You're in the right place if you are fearing this physical decline, which it's a legitimate fear. We are physically declining. We need to do something about this. But you're in the right place if you're concerned about losing strength, mobility, and independence as you age. And it can cause a lot of anxiety through, about the future. Yeah. You're in the right place if you lack self-belief, if you're struggling with your self doubt, questioning your ability to make lasting changes, and feeling stuck in a cycle of starting over. You're in the right place if you're confused and bombarded with all of the contradictory advice out there, how to lose fat, how to build muscle, stay healthy, it makes it very hard to truly know what works. Like if you're listening to all of these messages, how can you make it all make sense? So you're in the right place. You're in the right place because myself and Coach Abby, we were like, no nonsense. We're going to tell you straight up the way it is. So you're in the right place. If you have limited time due to family, work, social commitments, which leave very little room, right, for what we feel like consistent exercise and meal planning. You're in the right place if you struggle to know what kind of workout or strength training program works for you, specific goals and fit at your specific goals and your level. In the right place if you're dealing with perimenopause, menopause, right here, girl, right here. I've embraced this because it hit me this year like a crazy ton of bricks. And the weight gain and fatigue and decreased muscle tone and low energy and low stamina. You're in the right place if you are lacking the support from family. I mean, who can relate to that? I know nowadays it's not like that for me. Like my friends and family, they support, and they're not saying anything. They just don't. I don't get like what do they call it back. I'm losing the word, but um, I'm not getting flack for it. People just accept it. So if you're in the right place, if you feel like you don't have the support from family and friends or the social circles, so that makes it harder. It makes it harder to stay motivated. It makes it harder to stay consistent with your fitness goals. And that's you're in the right place because myself, Coach Abby, what we do is we're here for you and we're not crazy. It's sad that most people, most women, they're not in this place of thinking about the importance of taking care of our body for longevity and for health span so we can stay strong, age strong. And there's a lot of factors involved, which I'm going to cover here in these highlights. So you're in the right place if you've been following us. And by the way, if you're new to me, go check out all of my episodes. I've got episode after episode that you could make huge transformation. And I've had people reach out to me and thank me for so many episodes I have put out there, from some of our free content that we put out there, free PDFs, all the things. And they've told me I have lost 25 pounds. I've lost 50 pounds. I've done this. I've done that. I've gotten stronger. I started going to the gym and thanking me. And they have never, they're just doing all the stuff from all the stuff I've been putting out there. I'm not trying to take away from coaching because it's very important. What we do as coaches is help people implement and keep you going consistent and staying on track. But anyway, I digress. So here are the things that I went over in this masterclass. The 3 secrets that they're really no secret. They're just like this. They're just the non-sexy, boring things that nobody wants to accept. The 3 secrets are this: mastering your calories and your macros so that you know exactly what to eat for your body, and you'll never need a diet program again. Because it's not about diet, it's about understanding energy balance, okay? And the second one is having a consistent structured strength training so that you can build and maintain noticeable muscle and strength. That's the second one. And then the third one, establishing a rockstar routine, habits, so that you will continue consistently in your fit lifestyle with ease, not struggling. And like, this is so hard, not like that, but with ease. Because once you have a habit, right? Like, is a habit hard? It's not. It's like it's already there. You just do it because it's second nature. That's a habit. So once you establish your healthy, nutritious habits, you establish your healthy, fit workouts, and you just do it because it's part of your life. That's why it's easy, because it's a habit. And that's, well, those are the 3 secrets to your sustainable success with your fat loss. That's what we went over. And I'm going to go into some of the details of that now. So one of the things that I did mention, well, before I got into it, was the training. This fat loss training that I talked about, it's not for anybody. It's for the person that is sick and tired of diets, is sick and tired of being on that roller coaster ride. So it's not for you. If you're looking for that rapid fat loss solution, which I know a lot of women are, and you're placing a timeline on your fat loss, like, you want to lose weight before some kind of wedding or before this vacation or this cruise that you're going on. It's not for you if that's the way that you're looking at things. Or if you're not ready to commit to doing things differently than you've been doing them, you're not going to be coachable, and you don't value your personal growth, then this training is not for you. It's also not for you if you're not interested in learning and implementing the evidence-based, scientific-based approach to fat loss that includes calorie tracking and strength training. It's not for you if you're unwilling to commit to long-term change. It's not for you if you're going to, if you don't want to be, if you don't, basically, this is not for you if you're looking for some kind of fast magic pill. Okay. It's not sexy and it is boring, but what's not boring and what is sexy is real and lasting transformation and results. And that's what I focus on as a coach. I focus on body composition, because 2 people can weigh the same, right? And one person can look strong and fit, and the other person can look, I don't know, chubby, fluffy, and they weigh the same. Why? Because, and I'm going to do this again like I always do. If you're watching the video, look at that. 1 pound of fat and 1 pound of lean muscle. Well, muscle is lean. 1 pound of muscle mass and 1 pound of fat mass right here. Well, they're the same in weight, but one is smaller than the other. So muscle mass takes up less space than fat. That's the whole point that I want to emphasize. And if you don't know me, I just want to say, basically, my background, my story is this. I struggled with my weight off and on most of my adult life. I have never reached a healthy, fit weight that I was happy with, ever. Until my last time doing my transformation, which is back in 2017-18, when I lost over 60 pounds. And this time I did it differently. Yes, I'm a nurse, so I understand nutrition, but I started strength training because I understood the importance of building muscle and getting stronger. So that was one of the key things that I did differently, aside from really understanding my energy balance. Yes, I did WW, but that's a diet that was like leading me nowhere, because I am a healthy, strong, fit person. I enjoy activity. I enjoy my fitness, and I wanted to maintain my muscle mass, and I wanted to maintain my fit physique that I had worked so hard for. And I knew that WW, Weight Watchers, was not going to be what was going to keep me going. I didn't want to be stuck in some diet program for life. I wanted to understand, so that I knew no matter what I was doing, whatever workouts I was doing, whatever was happening, life is always changing. So I had the tools. I knew exactly. I had the what I should call this, like my fit lifestyle calculator. I knew what to put into that calculator to get the results that I wanted. And it was not going to be through WW. So I got certified National Academy of Sports Medicine as a personal trainer and nutrition coach. Yes. And then I left my nursing position because I had such a passion. So many women were asking me for help. I was already helping. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I jumped out on a ledge. Every time I think about that, I think of that song, um, oh, what song is that? Lady Gaga song. Oh my gosh, never mind. I'm on the edge of glory. Okay, all right, I digress. Anyway, I have such a passion to help women, and it comes from this real place. Like, I understand the emotions, I understand the frustration and the pain inside of feeling like I just want to lose the weight. I could just lose the weight like that, and then get to my goal weight, get fit, healthy, strong. I can keep it that way. But guess what? It doesn't work like that. I used to think that I could just, I'll just lose the weight and then I'll just be able to keep it off. But you know what, girl? That's not true. It won't work because we have to go through the process. And during the process, during this fitness journey is how we develop the mindset to maintain your fitness level, because the way that you think about things today, your mind is going to be changing as you're on this fitness journey. Okay. So the person that you're becoming has a different way of thinking. My thought processes and the person that I am today thinks completely differently from back in the day when I was starting and quitting. Back in the day when I had all these other things that I thought and believed, I was different in my mindset. So it requires going through all of the steps. It requires the journey for you to get to this destination. You can't get from the East Coast to the West Coast by just snapping your fingers. You're there. Nothing happened in between. That doesn't work that way. Anyway, this is why I have such a passion for it. And I know some people can do this transformation, but they're not a coach. They don't have that passion. I mean, this is something I would do this without getting paid. It's how much I love doing this. But because I'm putting my life into this is my life work. Yes, it's my business. I've got to get paid for what I do. My time is valuable. But all that aside, I have such a strong passion and commitment to you and to every woman that I help in their fitness journey and in their transformation. So that's why I do what I do. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. And I started RTF, Rock That Fitness, at the very beginning. Actually, I started at the end of 2019 when I left my nursing position as a nurse in the OR. But I kicked off Rock That Fitness in 2020 before I had this really funny BC in 2020 BC before COVID. I say that because you and I both know that the internet just got flooded with all kinds of coaching programs and coaches and trainers and programs that came online during COVID and after COVID. But I was doing this before, okay? And I was country and country wasn't okay. I don't know. I get songs just come to mind. Does that happen to you? Do you get songs in your head all the time? I do. If you do, then we're vibing, girl. Anyway, my whole life changed. I mean, my whole life, I feel like my life started. I kind of feel like, so my whole life changed with my transformation and then beginning Rock That Fitness and continuing Rock That Fitness for the past over 4 years. You know what? My life didn't just change. I feel like it's like it was a new beginning, really. It was amazing. And I'm glad that I stopped focusing on weight. And I'm glad that I started focusing on body composition and establishing my habits for a lifetime. So I know you hear this all the time, if I can do it, you can do it. But the thing is, it's really true. Like, I think if I can do it, you can do it. I've had all kinds of hard knocks. I've had an exceptionally tough childhood, even though I don't tell you all the details of that. But a lot of that is where my self-doubt has come from. It's where my sense of my inner fears of abandonment and self-doubt and all these kind of things are inside. But I've grown through so many of these things. All I'm trying to say is that you're not alone. And if I can do this, so can you. I think it just is a matter of making a decision, choosing to do it. Okay. Um, but there's a lot involved with creating your successful fit lifestyle. I mean, everything besides, meal planning and prepping and understand and having a structured strength training plan and, getting in activity, like regular activity every day, getting your steps in, getting your movement in, cardio for lung and heart health, adequate rest and recovery, optimal sleep, and getting your blood work regularly. I want to talk about that too. And staying hydrated and managing your stress, and also making putting some fun things, having fun in life, laughing, doing fun things. That's a long list of having a healthy, successful, fit lifestyle. It's a long list, and we can do it. It just takes doing little by little. A little becomes a lot. It's the compounding effect. So this is the reason why it's important to have the community support, to have people that can coach you and help you along and help you know that there's nothing wrong with you when you feel defeated and you're not getting results, and helping you change your mindset to understand that all of these quote unquote failures or mess ups or going back to the beginning, and you feel like you're starting over again and you're frustrated and self defeated, all of these things, they're a natural part of true progress. And your mind is just being reprogrammed, because now, whereas before you can be self-defeated and mad at yourself, now when you have these failures, you can go, well, this is part of my self-development. This is part of my rock star fit lifestyle. What do I need to do differently? Why do I keep having this hang up? That is the key. And we talk about this kind of stuff all the time inside of RTF. So let me get into these real quick. I'm going to try to just go over these real quick. Our 3 secrets to sustainable fat loss. Tracking calories and getting optimal protein. That is very, very important. I mean, it's key. It's key to fat loss, because you don't know how many calories your body is burning, but you can know how many calories you're taking in, and you can start tracking things regularly, consistently, accurately, and discovering exactly how many calories your body needs in a day, in a 24-hour period of time. And it's very important to understand this, because as women of age 40 and over, we're going to have hormonal changes. We are going to experience muscle mass loss. We're going to experience metabolic shifts. This is what I'm going to really, really dig in here. And I really hope you grasp this. It's so important, because as we're aging, it makes fat loss more challenging. I don't want anybody to tell you that, oh, it's so easy. It's not. And it does get more challenging because of these hormonal shifts. And it's very important that we know what our body needs for calories. And it's very important, and it becomes essential to not only lose fat, but it also becomes essential to maintain muscle mass. That way, we're improving our overall health, and we're combating the natural decline of our metabolism as we're aging. Yep. Next, I'm going through my slides here. So this is one thing I want to bring up, and that is, do I have to track calories to lose weight or fat? Well, it's the most effective and fastest way and quickest way to get results. So the simple answer is no, right? Because if you get in a calorie deficit, you're going to be able to lose fat. But you got to manage your expectations, because you won't even know when you're in a calorie deficit and when you're not. This is where I want you to have your power back, because all diets have a component of a calorie deficit. So whether you're on Weight Watchers, whether you're on keto, whether you're on paleo or Optavia or Whole30 or carnivora keto or whatever made up diet that's out there, all of them have a component of a calorie deficit. So why not understand the dang calorie system, the scientific calorie? Once you do that, then like, you're golden. You get it, because the energy balance is what's important. You got to understand that when you understand calories, you know how many calories your body needs just to maintain your current weight, and you know how many calories you can take in and be in a calorie deficit, because calories is energy. Calories is just a unit of measure for energy. So it's just like knowing how to manage your money. It gives you freedom. It gives you options. When you know how to manage your calories and your energy, it gives you freedom and options. You know what and when and how and all those kind of things. Which brings me to what's going on. How many calories does our body actually burn? And here are some percentages for you just to keep in mind, because the biggest amount of calories, the biggest percentage of calories burned happens because of your body's need for energy. That's 60 to 75%. That's your basal metabolic rate. That's your body at rest, that your body needs is going to be burning. Your body burns 60 to 75% of its calories just existing. Okay. After that, we've got physical activity. Your body burns physical activity is like 15 to 30%. Then we've got thermic effect of food, which means you burn calories when you're digesting food. That's 10%, about 10%. And then we've got non-exercise activity thermogenesis, standing, walking around, fidgeting, and that's 10 to 15%. But the majority of the calories your body burns is 60 to 75%, which is your basal metabolic rate. And guess what? Ladies, after the age of 30, that basal metabolic rate is decreasing by 2 to 3% per decade, which means that we're going to be burning fewer calories at rest as we age, right? Which makes gaining weight more likely, okay? Unless we manage our calorie intake, we manage what's going on with our energy output and input. Okay. It's so understand that these hormonal changes is what's happening. This is what's happening is this effect. What am I'm missing a word here? Sorry about that. The word is okay. It's escaping me. A word that I need, and I'm on video, so I can't stop it right now. What's happening is the domino effect. Okay, that's not the word I wanted, but it works. It's the domino effect. When one thing happens, this happens, and then this happens. So you're aging, you're having hormonal shifts, in menopause, it causes a drop in estrogen levels, and that leads to not being able to maintain our muscle mass as easily. We start gaining weight around our midsection. This shift in fat distribution also increases our health risks, making it important to manage our nutrition and focus on this fat loss. But listen, here's what's happening. What's happening is we're losing muscle mass. And so when we're losing muscle mass, which muscle requires energy just to exist, now our body doesn't need as many calories, and we're still taking in the same amount of calories. So this is why we're gaining fat, we're gaining weight, right? But we can take preventative measures, and this is where it's important to make sure you're getting optimal amounts of protein. So taking in more protein, right? So we can prevent the muscle loss while you're losing fat. So taking in more protein during fat loss helps to preserve that lean muscle mass, and it helps keeping our metabolism higher. And like I say, so when we do that, when we're making sure we're getting optimal protein, then we know that the weight that we're losing is mostly fat and it's not muscle. We don't want to be losing muscle while we're, in a calorie deficit and shedding the fat. Women over 40, we're definitely, like I said, we're losing muscle mass. And so it's very crucial that we're maintaining that by getting optimal protein. And then I'm going to talk about building muscle and strength next, because that's going to be our secret number 2. But the other reasons we want to make sure that we're getting optimal protein is for staying satisfied. Okay. Because protein is the macronutrient that has the highest satiety. It's going to keep you satisfied longer. And it's also, like I said earlier, has the highest thermic effect. It's the one macro that takes your body more work to break down. So you're burning calories by getting in plenty optimal protein. Okay. And here's something else very interesting. Research is showing that postmenopausal women are at a higher risk of insulin resistance. Higher protein intake helps manage glucose in our blood. So insulin resistance can lead to fat storage, especially around the abdomen, but protein helps to regulate that blood sugar level, and it counters insulin resistance, and which can become more common as we're aging, right? But we can do something about it. And postmenopausal women are facing like I said, they're facing a higher insulin resistance due to this decreased estrogen that's affecting our glucose. So increase your protein intake, okay? Because it's going to improve your insulin sensitivity, and it's going to help promote muscle mass, and that is going to help you use up glucose. Your muscles need that. Additionally, protein stimulates insulin release without spiking blood glucose, leading to a better glucose control. And protein helps support bone health. Okay, moving on to our second thing I want to talk about, which is the second secret that I talked about, which is structured strength training. And too many women don't know this, but structured strength training is not these things. I want to make sure that when you leave this episode, you know this. It's not random workouts that include a dumbbell or weights. It's not. That's not strength training. And strength training is not something you grab a strength training workout off of YouTube or Peloton. That's not strength training. Okay. And it's not a HIIT program, and it's not Orange Theory or boot camp. These are not strength training workouts. Strength training is something you do week after week on a structured programming where you're working either a 3-day plan or a 4-day-a-week plan, and you're targeting each muscle or muscle groups once or twice a week, repeating these exercises weekly and tracking your progress, tracking your reps, your weights, your sets. That is strength training. So you can actually observe yourself improving and getting stronger and building muscle week after week. That is strength training. It's going to boost your metabolic rate because you're building muscle, right? And it's going to help you preserve lean muscle mass. I keep on saying lean muscle mass, and it's so ridiculous because muscle is lean. But my notes say that. I need to get that out of here. So when women lose weight with dieting, especially just dieting or just cardio all the time, they tend to lose a significant amount of muscle when they do that. And this is why it's so important that we're strength training. And I know women are like, well, we're not going to burn as many calories in strength training. Well, I know that's not the point. You're going to be building muscle. So your body's going to be burning calories during that workout. Yes, a little bit, but then it continues to burn calories because it has to build that muscle. It has to recover the damages that you're doing in strength training, like little muscle fibers, and then build the muscle. So your body is actually burning calories for a few days after you did that strength training program to build the muscle, so it can adapt to the resistance that you put on it. And then now that you have this muscle built on your body, now you're burning calories just at rest with that muscle mass. It's very important. So aside from, it's helping us balance our hormones, helping us with bone and joints, and it's helping us to decrease cortisol. And it's more effective to help you in your fat loss and in your fat loss maintenance long term. Yeah, just mic drop that one because that was one of my key things why I was so adamant in my own personal fat loss journey to build muscle, because I knew by building muscle, my body was going to be burning more calories just at rest. And that just made me real excited. I don't know about you, but that just really makes me excited. It's one of the things that keeps me going week after week to my strength training. And then the third and most important, I believe, because if you don't have this, then none of that matters. And that is the third secret, which is consistency. I can't tell you how many times I will ask women, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to fat loss? And most of the time, they're going to say consistency. I just can't stick with it. I give up. I don't know what happens. I'm just not consistent. And so I know that when we can change the belief system, the patterns of our mind, and create habits to do these things and become the person we are meant to be, because girl, you are meant for so much more. But when we can change these beliefs about ourselves, we're going to change our actions, and we're going to come in with a whole new drive. We're not going to be doing yo-yo dieting anymore. We're not going to have the self-doubt anymore. We're not going to be having the body image issues anymore. That these things that create mental barriers that make it harder to commit and keep on going. So I know this is a lot, but I want to wrap up here as I can here, because I know this has gotten pretty long. But I'm always going to, promote what we're doing in RTF, because I believe that the reason women aren't getting results and maintaining them is because they're not applying the Rockstar methods and staying consistent with it. So, and not having the support. And so if that's you, and you want to join us for the next challenge, I don't have a date for it. I don't know when it's going to be, but I highly, highly recommend go in the show notes and get yourself on the next wait list for our next Kickstart challenge. And if you're not on that, then make sure that you are at least on my contact list, which you can easily get on the contact list as well, rockthatfitness.com. It's also going to be in the show notes. Make sure you're on the contact list. I really do my best to myself and Coach Abby. We send out emails every week. We're encouraging you. We're giving you nutrition tips, strength training tips. We're giving you mindset tips and motivational, inspirational, and updates and things like that. We don't sell in there very much. We just do that. Of course, we're selling because, man, that's what we do. We want to help more women. And, so yes, I'm going to be like, hey, we've got something for you. You need help? Here's the help. Come on in here. That's what we do. But when we do a launch, you'll find inside of emails, it might seem like annoying, but if you're, don't worry about it. You don't want to have to buy anything. You don't have to look at those emails. But I just say that because we are in there regularly sending out very valuable content in our emails. So you'll want to be on the contact list and understand, maybe it's not for you right now. Maybe it's not for you at that moment or whatever, but we're reaching out and letting you know, here's what we have to offer. Do you want to come in or not? Is it for you right now or not? Maybe another day. And what we do in this Kickstart Challenge, just so you know, because you may not know, that the Kickstart Challenge is a 6-week step-by-step program. And it is designed for women over 40 that are ready to commit to getting strong, losing fat, losing inches, building muscle, aging strong, and never needing another diet program, another stupid diet program again. And we're going to walk you through step by step. There's going to be any confusion. And this is the quickest and most effective way to get from point A to point B. So get yourself on the next list. When you're in here, when you do the challenge, you can expect that we're going to be with you every step of the way. You're going to be inside the RTF app. It's going to deliver you exactly what to do for your strength training, whether it's a full gym access strength training program or whether it's just dumbbell and bands, whether it's just at home, whatever. We're going to give you guidance in your nutrition. There's lessons, and we're having weekly coaching calls. And then this time around, and we think this is working the best, is to bring you into the full RTF community experience inside of our Facebook group so you can feel fully supported and rock your fitness with all these other amazing rock star ladies inside of RTF. Lastly, I want to say, if you don't know this yet, RTF has partnered with Merrick Health, which I'm real excited about. Merrick Health is an online health a program where you can get comprehensive labs, like all of your comprehensive labs, sex hormones, metabolism panel, all of that, which I decided to do. And now we're making that available to you, the public. Right now, we have a great deal. I mean, our rock stars that are in RTF, they get the best deal. So in membership or as an RTF client, you get the best deal for Merrick, but we still have a deal for you. So just go to rockthatfitness.com and go check it out in the menu. Merrick Health. I love it. Girl, it's been a game changer for me. I think I'm going on week number 6 of my hormone replacement therapy. Yes, I'm getting testosterone injections twice a week. I do that myself. It's a little tiny, really simple. And I'm replacing progesterone, and it has been a game changer. I probably need to come back and do an update on that as well. So I'll think about that. So much going on, so much exciting things. Happy fall as we're going into the new school year. I hope that you are just taking a deep breath with all the changes going on and taking care of yourself, girl. In spite of it all, I know there's a lot going on, but the number one thing that you need to do is to take a step back, take a deep breath, and make sure that you are caring for yourself, okay? And if you feel like you're struggling with that, then take a breather, take a pause, and take a look at things and do it differently. That's all I can say. Because if we keep on doing the same thing, we're going to keep getting the same results. Duh. Anyway, girl, I love you so much. Thank you so much again for tuning in and hanging in here for this longer episode. And we'll see you on then. Oh, one last announcement. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Yes, we're going to be doing another episode. It's coming. I think it'll be next. The next one that's dropping will be myself and Brett Scranton with our second part of our four part series on the four horsemen of chronic diseases. And that's coming, and that'll be next week. So love you, girl. Stay strong and rock on.